Morning, afternoon, evening. Welcome to MBS Connect, a daily walk through Proverbs. Today is day 57, and our topic for today is the world and you. And our lead verse comes from Romans chapter 12, verse 2. Do not be conformed to this age, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, so that you may discern what is good, pleasing, and perfect will of God. So you can seek out, so you can find what is the good, pleasing, and perfect will of God. And our daily walk through Proverbs starts with, we live in the world, but we must not worship it. Our duty is to please God first and everything else second. So we have to get it in our mind that it's not about me. It's not about you. It's about God. And when we put Him first, everything else will be added to us. All your relationships, your job, and those things will be added to you. We need to put that second. We don't need to be putting those things before our relationship with God. But because we are fallible beings with imperfect faith, pleasing God in His rightful place is often difficult. We have a lot of excuses. We have a lot of things that we tend to prioritize. And there's just a lot of temptations out in the world. Let's just be honest. In fact, at every turn or so, it seems, we are tempted to do otherwise. Whether it's our friends, it's our teachers, it's our spouses, it's our family members who are tugging us the other way, who's getting us to give in to that temptation or peer pressure to go the world way versus go God's way. The world is a noisy, distracting place filled with countless opportunities to stray from God's will. And God's will, guys, is for every man to accept His Son and be redeemed, to join Him in heaven, to join Him, to join His family, and to come to this place where He has prepared for us, where a lot of the things that we suffer and deal with and suffer through here on earth, we will never have to deal with again once we get to that place. The world seems to cry, worship me with your time, your money, your energy, and your thoughts. And a great example of this is when in Luke chapter 14, I think is verses 15 through 24, where Jesus was talking about the banquet or the dinner party, where one of the observers was saying, wouldn't it be so great to eat at the table in the kingdom of God? And Jesus responded was, there was actually a man or a master who who actually put on this huge banquet. He cooked all this food and he wanted to invite everybody to come and enjoy the feast. And he sent his servant out to go get people. He wanted his house to be full. So the servant went to this first guy, and the guy was like, hey man, I just bought this new property and I got to go look at it. Please send my regards. Excuse me. The next guy the servant went to was like, man, I just bought these 5 oxen, these teams of oxen, and I need to go look after it. I need to go make sure that these ox are good and everything is well. Please send my regards. Excuse me. And then the third and fourth person was like, hey man, I just got married. I need to go home to my wife. Please send my regards. So the servant came back and was like, we still got room. A lot of people had these excuses. So the master sent them back out and just say, man, go out to the hillsides, go get the poor, the lame, just bring them in. I want my house to be full. And and this is what kind of popped in my mind when we say the world cries of worship me with your time, your money, your energy, and your thoughts. Not to say which each of those person excuses was a sin. There were good things. If you bought property, having property is okay. You know, owning oxens to work and till your ground is okay. Having a wife is okay. It's just like with the property, it was more about your treasures or your time prioritized before coming in, and experiencing the feast of the kingdom of God. And with the oxen, that was more responsibilities, your work and all the things that you got to do in life, can come before God. And then with the wives, it's relationships. The world can scream and tell us that all of these relationships we need to have. It needs all our attention, and we forget God. And when I think about that feast, it's really what he was trying to just give us an analogy of God sending his son Jesus here to earth and to tell us that, hey, I'm the way. Come through me. Come enjoy. Come join our family. Come eat at this feast. Come have everlasting life. And yet, many of us have excuses. Many of us will, well, just let me take care of school first, or just let me handle this situation I got to deal with. Just let me handle this relationship, and then I'll come join. I'll come join that feast. And guys, I'm just telling you, we need to put God first. We need to love God with everything. He's going to bless all that other stuff. But when we start to prioritize our time, our money, and our energy and all that stuff into what the world wants us to do, and to continue to not place him first, then we're missing the boat. We're missing God's perfect will. We're not being transformed by renewing of our minds, and we're not discerning what is good and pleasing and perfect will of God. So I'm just going to challenge you guys to please, please put God first. But God commands otherwise. He commands us to worship him alone. Everything else must be secondary. And we got a quote from Max Lucado, who says, the only ultimate disaster that can befall us, I have come to realize, is to feel ourselves to be home on earth. This place is temporary. It will perish. Heaven is eternal. That's our home. As believers, we need to have our focus on that first. In our daily walk through Proverbs, word for the wise comes from Proverbs chapter 8, verse 13. The fear of the Lord is to hate evil, pride, arrogancy, and the evil way. And all those are characteristics of when we put ourselves first, when we make it all about us, all about me. We can let pride, we can let arrogancy, we can let evil things creep in and deter us. But guys, we need to put God first. We need to fear the Lord and renew our minds each and every day. So please, please, let's put God first. Everything else second. Let's prioritize right. Let's put Jesus at the center of it all. So with that, have a great day, and until I see you tomorrow, peace.